From one comeback to a potential comeback. Everybody calm down. But this looks pretty promising for the LA Rams.
And could you imagine if Myles Garrett was traded to the Los Angeles Rams a couple years ago?
Sure.
And he was able to play alongside Aaron Donald. You'd say, is that the greatest defensive line in the history of ball?
Aaron's a guy that I stay really close in touch with, and I know the respect that he has for Myles. Talk to him about the opportunity to be able to bring him on board. If Aaron decides he wants to dust him off at the age of 35, I bet you he could still do it at a pretty high clip.
In May 2025, Aaron Donald said the quiet part out loud. He was done, happily retired, no passion, no excitement, no desire to put the pads back on. As far as playing football, I don't miss it. Those were his exact words. A man who spent a decade terrorizing NFL offensive lines with a ferocity the sport had never seen at his position, had looked at his life without football and decided he was perfectly fine with it. Over 2 years later, TMZ published photos of Aaron Donald working out at the Los Angeles Rams facility. Not a casual visit, not a meet and greet with old teammates, a workout in the building, on the field. 28 months into retirement, with a Super Bowl ring on his finger and every record worth chasing already broken, and he was back doing the thing he said he did not miss anymore. Sean McVay was asked about it almost immediately, and what he said was not the carefully diplomatic non-answer of a head coach managing a sensitive situation.
Have you crossed paths with Aaron Donald? Are you allowing yourself to contemplate if he is of mind, body, and soul that he wants to reinvest himself in this?
I have crossed paths with Aaron Donald, and he is thinking about this. He's going to go through his process, and the one thing about Aaron Donald is what he does it full speed ahead.
He was not speculating. He was not hoping. He was reporting a fact he had already established privately, because McVay had already talked to Donald about coming back before any camera caught him in that facility. The call had already happened. The door was already open. And now the whole world was about to catch up to what Sean McVay had already been planning. Before we talk about the comeback, let us be honest about what Aaron Donald actually was, because the easy version of this story undersells the reality completely. Donald was drafted 13th overall by the Rams in 2014 out of Pittsburgh. 6'1", 280 pounds, undersized by traditional defensive tackle standards, a player some teams passed on because of the measurements. What those teams missed was that Donald played bigger than any number they could put on him. His first step was so fast that offensive linemen were still processing the snap count when he was already in their lap. His hand strength was extraordinary, and his motor, the relentlessness, the play after play consistency, regardless of score or situation, was something that cannot be measured at a combine. 3 Defensive Player of the Year awards, the most sacks ever recorded by an interior defensive lineman, 10 Pro Bowls, 8 first-team All-Pro selections, a Super Bowl ring in 2022, the championship McVay promised this city when he arrived as a 30-year-old head coach, won at home at SoFi Stadium with Donald as the engine of the whole defense. He retired in March 2024, having done everything the sport offered him to do. And then Sean McVay went and traded for Myles Garrett.
It was so hard for me to leave Aaron Donald, best player I ever played with, he never turned it off.
All positions.
Best player I ever played with.
Wow.
He never turned it off. He walk in, and I done played with greats. I done played with Champ Bailey. This is no disrespect to them. If I'm running a Texas game, the Texas gonna be open. If I'm running an exit game, the exit game gonna be open. Anything that we draw up to try to scheme away from Aaron Donald, it's gonna be open.
Here is the part of this story that most people are treating as coincidence. When the Rams traded for Myles Garrett, the reigning Defensive Player of the Year, who just broke Michael Strahan's single-season sack record in Cleveland with 23, the public conversation turned immediately to Aaron Donald. A year earlier, when Micah Parsons was rumored to be heading to Los Angeles, a Rams fan photoshopped Parsons into a Rams jersey and posted it online. Donald commented saying, if Parsons went to the Rams, he might have to get back into football shape. That post went viral. But that dream never happened. Parsons went with the Green Bay Packers. But McVay did not wait for social media to ask the question this time. He had already made the call. Aaron is a guy I stay really close in touch with, McVay told reporters on June 2nd. I know the respect he has for Miles. Talked to him about the opportunity to bring him on board. That means the conversation had already happened before any reporter asked McVay about it publicly. This was not a head coach being pulled into a hypothetical. This was a man confirming a conversation he had already initiated. And then the workout happened. And this is where the story stops being a rumor and start to make sense. According to Adam Schefter, Donald did not show up at the facility just to lift weights. He told the Rams front office he specifically wanted to put pads on to see how his mind and his body reacted to being back on a football field. Reports leaked that Donald worked out until he was completely gassed, pushing himself to his absolute limit to test whether what was left in the tank was enough for what the moment would demand. That is not a retired player staying in shape. That is a man running an honest audition on himself.
Has he gotten mad while you played against him? Because
almost every time.
He
gets mad at me for sliding to him. I'm like, Aaron, I'm not going to leave you one-on-one with a
that
guard
get mad
all
at
day.
anything, bro.
Stop helping. I'm like, dude, what do you think I'm just going to let you ruin the game?
Yeah,
like,
dude.
I'm not going to let you ruin the game.
Yeah.
We're going to double team you like everybody does. Why are you getting upset about this?
I hated playing against Philly. Kelsey, his little fast ass always ran full. He would snap the ball and run over right now and I'm like, bro, you got some good guards. Let them work. You don't got to help them every time. I'm not letting you. We're not gonna let you ruin the game. And I'm like, God, every single play, every time I played the Eagles, bro, I really never got no one-on-ones. I probably had like one or two during the game, and that would be it. If you don't win any one-on-one that time, then you're done. You're gonna get doubled and triple team for the rest of the game.
McVay knew Donald's psychology better than almost anyone. 7 years coaching him. He knew that Donald's retirement was not about the money.
See how I say, bro, you could still be a Pro Bowler next year. Why take it from the game?
I'm complete, man, and for me, I don't have the passion to play football no more. So it's like you get exhausted after a while. I don't got the urge to do that all year round no more. I don't got the urge to go out there and do camp. I don't got the urge to go through 17 games again. I just don't got the urge to play football, and that's a disservice to me to just go out there for a check. All right, this amount of money on the table, I can just get that and be done and just get by. That's not the way I'm built. That's not the way I am, and I can't disrespect the game because it did so much good for me.
And McVay just handed him the greatest possible reason. Myles Garrett on the outside. Stafford's farewell tour. Super Bowl 61 in their own building. The full package. In May 2025, Donald said he did not miss football. Over 2 years later, he is seriously contemplating a return, and there is a genuine sense around the league that he will suit up for the Rams in 2026. At 35 years old, Donald would not need to be the version that recorded 20.5 sacks in a season. He would not need to play 65 snaps a game. What the Rams need is a rotational presence. A player who commands so much attention from the offensive line that Myles Garrett on the outside becomes unguardable. A player who can still win one-on-one in critical moments. McVay said it himself. At 35, he can still do it at a pretty high clip. He was not being generous. He was being accurate.
Again, Aaron Donald is one of the only human beings on planet Earth who could make Myles Garrett look in the mirror and say, "Do I look fat in this shirt?" Yes. Myles Garrett is one of the only human beings on the planet, if not the only human being on the planet, that makes Aaron Donald sit at home and go, maybe I do want to play one more year.
The photos are out. The workout happened. The conversation took place before any reporter knew to ask about it. Vincent Bonsignor reported Donald is seriously contemplating the return, and there is a genuine sense around the league he will suit up in 2026. Something tells you McVay already knew exactly what those actions were going to look like. What do you think his availability timeline looks like? If he says yes, what are your predictions for the 2026 season? I hope you will like this, and don't forget to subscribe and like the video. There's a hype feature available for some of you. I would really appreciate it if you hit the hype button, as it will ultimately boost the video. I like to hear your thoughts in the comments section. I read every single one of them. Let's talk. Have a great weekend.